Belize Soap Box with Sharon Marin Lewis starts now.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Belize Soap Box with Sharon Marin Lewis starts now. We're so happy that you've decided to join us again for yet another show. This is only the second one. Last week we were here with Super G and we had such a great Father's Day celebration, and we're moving on. Listen, please not ask me pa today. In fact, ask me, where am I? I am at Ramada's Grace Enterprise. As you know, we have our home at Thursday, but they're currently under renovations, and the Ramada Grace Enterprise was gracious enough to allow us and to accommodate us for this evening. So we're very grateful, and we are very happy to be here in this nice sheltered area. We know that the week has been quite wet, and a lot of you are, you know, fighting with the rain or fighting with the weather. Soapbox has been fighting with the weather as well, so that's why we're here. But not to lament, we have a great show planned for you. We have the introduction of Belize Soap Box News, which starts tonight. We also have our giveaways, which is a staple on the show. And of course, we have our special guests who will be speaking with us at length later on in the show, and that is Miss Shakera Young. But what we're gonna do at this time is we are gonna take a break and come back, jump right into the show, because I know you're excited and you can't wait for us to start. So we'll be back after this. Belize Soap Box is sponsored by Milani Palace, Brothers Sabet, Medina's House of Jewelry.
We try to tell we ma no worry about we when we go play ball, but she said not even the court safe. We just want to try have fun and please stop the violence.
I mean, trust safe. It should be like this for everybody.
We love to play with our friends and we don't want anyone to hurt them.
We would have want to do this all the time without worry about shot the bus. Put the violence to rest instead of we.
We want to sleep in peace, not rest in peace.
That sounds great, Mr. Dutchman. Thanks. Getting our own Dutch boy.
Wow, Belize! Wow!
Sometimes it's hard being a new kid in town. But eventually, we all find our place. That place we call home, people we call family. What happens when he becomes the popular kid in town? Women love him. He's so helpful. Builders and contractors respect him. Even kids and animals can't get enough of the Dutch boy. What happens when everyone wants a piece of the Dutch boy? Dutch boy, demand the best.
Welcome back to the show, and we're about to get into our Soapbox News. This is our first episode of Belize Soapbox News, and that's where we share some information with you. It's nothing like the 6:30 news. We just share our information a little bit differently. We start off with news on Georgia Estrada, Belize's very own top model who's in London right now. The 22-year-old is on contract with Squad Management, and that same agency has taken care of supermodel Naomi Campbell, and they are now looking after Georgia. We're hoping that she gets this big break and we end up seeing her on the catwalk around the world. But the real reason why we brought her up is because recently when we heard about the bombing in Manchester at the Ariana Grande concert, I'm pretty sure a lot of you watching right now listen to that type of music, listen to Ariana Grande, and we had heard when there was an explosion out there that several people had died, at least 22. And we know that our very own Mrs. Estrada is there, so we wanted to know how she's been doing and what's going on with her. So we now have this clip from her where she speaks to us about her experience over there in London and how she's been dealing with the terrorist issue.
Hey Belize, what's up? It's Georgia. If you didn't know already, I'm now based in London, and that has been an absolute dream come true. What had happened was I got signed to a modeling agency, and basically they moved me out here so that we could work closely together in building my brand and my name into the industry. And so far it's been really, really amazing. I've been meeting a lot of incredible people. I've done a number of different campaigns, which I cannot wait for Belize to see. Most of the work that I've done, they're coming out in July and August, so stay tuned for that. And apart from that, I've done a number of different editorial shoots as well, which is like magazine shots, so they'll be coming out in July and August as well. So it has been really, really amazing. Of course, I miss home. I miss my family so much, but at the same time, my dreams are so big, sacrifices has to be made, and I believe that that's something that happens in life in general. If you want to reach towards something, there's something that's gonna come up, and you have to decide whether or not you're just gonna push forward or you're just gonna stay there. And for me, I was like, you know what, I cried before I left, but I was like, I'm going and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna make my family proud, I'm gonna make Belize proud, and everybody proud. I'm gonna make myself proud. And my family, they've been so supportive, and thanks for the internet, I get to talk to them, I get to FaceTime them like almost every day, so that's really, really good. And of course, London is completely different from home, but I've adjusted quite well, and thankfully I have my boyfriend Brandon here with me as well, so he's been like really supportive, and I've had a couple sad days and he's been there to really lift my spirit. So it's really good to have someone there to actually love and support you during times like those. So yeah, that's just a little update as far as what's been going on this side. And I just want to tell everyone out in Belize that whatever goals you have, whatever dream you have, the sky is the limit. Belize is not the limit. And I always said that my dreams and my aspirations, they're bigger than my country. And look at me now, I'm all the way in London. So yeah, without further ado, thank you so much, Ms. Sharon, for having me, and good luck with your show. Everyone have a nice day. Lots of love, Georgia.
Okay, that was Georgia from her very own lips, and we will be speaking with her frequently because we know she has tens of thousands of Instagram followers, and I'm not kidding. She literally has tens of thousands of Instagram followers. And next we're going to be talking about Kaina Martinez. She's one of my favorite persons, I must say, to speak about, because whenever I talk about her, it's something positive. Kaina is enlisted or enrolled at Texas A&M University. She's a track star, and she's coming back every year. She's been doing this for the past 5 years. She's been having an annual track and field get together, track and field camp. That's a better word for it, track and field camp, and that takes place July 22nd to the 23rd. So we're wishing Kaina the best with that. As you know, Kaina she represented for us at the Olympics, and she has countless Central American medals, and she's been making Belize proud for a very, very long time. She's an outstanding athlete. So we look forward to her coming back. I understand she should be back in the country very soon, and the camp starts from July 22nd to July 23rd. And lastly, I was going to talk about, well, my favorite thing to talk about, and that's pageants. But what we're going to do with our pageant stories, this evening I was able to speak with Mr. Orson Elrington, who is a major player in the Miss Universe controversy that's been going on. He's a part owner of the franchise that controls it. And I spoke to him this evening because I wanted an update, and I was going to be providing my story for that. But what I've decided to do is hold back until next week, because after speaking with Mr. Elrington, he advised me that they will be having a huge meeting and that for sure they will be having something to report to the public. Now, I for one, I have my eyes on this because I'm a huge pageant fan. Like I love, love, love pageants. And I could recall that before Rebecca Rath represented us in January of this year at Manila, that it had been quite some time before we had a Miss Belize representing us at all. In fact, the pageant before this one was held, that one was held in a living room or somebody's house. So we know that pageant has been going through a lot in Belize. We want to see it, successful. We want to see our young ladies respected and treated with the type of respect that's worthy of a queen. And so we will be keeping our eye on this story. And next week, hopefully, we have some more to report to you on this whole Miss Belize, Miss Universe controversy. I did get this from Mr. Elrington, though. He told me that he has spoken with the rat camp, for lack of a better word, and everything is fine on that end. And he also stated that for certain there will be a Miss Belize pageant this year to select whoever is going to be representing us at the next pageant. And that's it for Belize Soap Box News. Remember that if you want to see something on our news, you can email us at belizesoapbox@gmail.com. We'll surely take it into consideration. And since we're a new news team, we're looking for news, so be sure to contact us ASAP. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Belize Soap Box is sponsored by Milani Palace, Brother Sabet, Medina's House of Jewelry.
We try to tell we ma no worry about we when we go play ball. But she said not even the court safe. We just want to try to have fun and please stop the violence.
I mean, trust safe. It should be like this for everybody.
We love to play with our friends and we don't want anyone to hurt them.
We would have want to do this all the time without worry about shot the bus. Put the violence to rest instead of we.
We want to sleep in peace, not rest in peace.
That sounds great, Mr. Dutchman. Thanks. Getting our own Dutch boy.
Wow, Belize! Wow!
Sometimes it's hard being a new kid in town. But eventually, we all find our place. That place we call home, people we call family. What happens when he becomes the popular kid in town? Women love him. He's so helpful. Builders and contractors respect him. Even kids and animals can't get enough of the Dutch boy. What happens when everyone wants a piece of the Dutch boy? Dutch boy, demand the best.
Welcome back to the show, and we're moving along quite timely. I noticed, right? We left from the Soapbox News and now we're on to giveaways. And to help me with giveaways, I have my guest. She's jumping in a little earlier than I usually would put the guests on. But I have with me the lovely and absolutely amazing and awesome individual who I've known for quite some time, Shakera Young. Hi, welcome.
Good night, Sharon.
Welcome to the show, and thanks for coming here.
And thanks for inviting me.
I know that you've been quite busy, and I know that you've had a long day. I know today particularly could have been a long day, so I really appreciate you coming and being here with us, with our guests as well. Now, before we get into talking with you, we have a lot to discuss, and we're gonna do our best to condense it to the time that we have allotted for ourselves. But before we get to that, Shakera is going to help me with giveaways, right, Shak?
Yes.
You ready? All right, so the way this works is that earlier, that would have been yesterday, we realized that we would have to do a closed recording, and so we wouldn't have any audience members here. Therefore, we ask that those who were members or who like the Sharon Marin Lewis fan page, we ask them to submit their name and phone number, and we decided that we're going to raffle the prizes that we have here. Now, generally, when we have the show, the audience is here. The same concept applies. They receive a ballot with a number on it. Why am I saying ballot, Shakira? Like with a
ticket.
A ticket. They receive a ticket, and then we randomly choose the numbers, and whoever I get fumble mode. Whoever number will pick, then they get the prize. So that's the same concept that applies tonight. But Shakira is gonna be the one to help me out tonight. So we have our bowl with our names and our people who submitted. We want to thank you for participating. We're gonna have our Soapbox Facebook page very, very soon, and we're working on a YouTube video so that those who are not in the country and who want to see, which we've been hearing a lot of requests for that they'll be able to see. So Shakira, let me talk about the prizes before we even pick anything here. Number one, we have this lovely speaker. Do you call a speaker lovely? I don't know. I know good at the description.
Yeah, I think it's lovely.
I think it's lovely too, and it gives you lovely music,
yes,
for sure. I checked it for sure so that when you get it, you know that it'll work good. And we have these speakers. It comes from Yes We Have It. Now, Yes We Have It is located on Vernon Street. You know the place at the mall, the Green Mall? It hasn't really been completely moved into, but Yes We Have It is located there. And they specialize in office furniture and stuff like that. So they have a catalog. You can choose from their catalog any office furniture you want, and they will ship it into you. They say they have the best prices, so they want you to try them out. Shakira, you get to pick.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, drum roll.
Alright.
Now they have their age in it, but don't say their age because they're not happy with me if it's an age.
Okay.
Alright, please. So Shakira has chosen the name. She
Alright,
is looking
so
at it.
I have Courtney Duran. Do I give her address?
No, don't give that. But she's in the city or she's out the
She's in
street?
Belize City.
She's in Belize City. So congratulations to Courtney Duran.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Courtney, you'll be able to pick up this prize from us. We will be getting in touch with you and making arrangements so that, you'll have no issues picking up the prize. But congratulations, Courtney.
Congrats,
She's lucky, right?
Courtney. Yes. So you get a set of speakers.
Yes, a set of speakers. That's yours.
Awesome.
And now we're going to move on to this lovely handbag. Shakira, you can hold it if you want and model it, leave it.
Here you go.
And it has a dress in it, by the way.
Yes, a very nice dress and a nice color.
I like it
Take
myself.
This dress out. And let's look and see what this dress is about. So, well, I know Sharon, this one can't fit me, but it will fit somebody as small as yourself.
And I'll tell you, if the person who
They have
wins
open
this
back.
is a little bigger, you can take it to Milanese and switch it to the size that suits you. Alright? So you're not stuck with that one.
Awesome.
Yes.
And then you have a lovely handbag to go.
Yes, a lovely handbag. I love it. It's big. It's big but compact, And I like the color as well.
Yes.
I would have taken it myself. And then we also have this makeup that goes along with
that
this
comes
price.
along with
Yes.
it as well.
Shakira was saying, there's so much makeup cost.
Yes, ladies. This is a very nice kit. I like it, not that I know what it's about because I'm not
All
a
right,
huge
what
face
Shakira is
fan,
holding
but
there is a blush. Shakira, hold it up a little bit. Let our viewers see it. All right, so that's blush and that's bronzer. So blush to make your cheeks look clean, rosy if you want,
the pink color.
the lip pink color, and then the bronzer just to give you that, make you look more healthy and thing, give you that color in your face.
so you know shine through.
So you shine like maybe what I do right now. But you're gonna pick the name again. So
Okay then,
what did you do with Courtney's name? You hope you never
It's
put it.
here.
Okay, so let's take that
Courtney's name
Courtney
is
and
here.
we'll throw it away. We'll clean it up afterwards. Don't worry. I never catch nobody over there, right?
Okay. So we have our second winner.
Yes, I'm excited.
It's Miss Kadeen Mendoza.
Oh,
And she's from
Kadeen Mendoza.
Belize City as well.
Belize City strong.
Yes. So
Yes.
we have two ladies from Belize City. So as you say, amazing that two ladies win.
Two ladies win.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm thinking right now to myself and I'm laughing, right? because it's horrible. Shakera, there was one man who entered.
Really?
Yes, but
he should have a witness speaker.
but his name isn't in here. He entered. That was the last name that entered.
So how about we take back Courtney gift and give it to him?
We can't give it to him. Courtney, you have your gift. Know about it. And then Kadeen, you get the purse. The final gift we have to give away right now is this Kindle. Shakera, you have to get the Kindle. You have to get that Kindle out. Yes, yes, yes. That's the Kindle now.
Like, here's a Kindle.
That Kindle was given to me from last year to give away, honestly, from last year's show. When we were called the Sharon Marin Lewis show. I was given that Kindle to give away by the lovely Miss Betty Hamilton Williams. And she is a member of the diaspora, Belizean who lives in the States, and she comes every year. She's a part of the Belize Diabetic Association, the one attached in New York. So there's a group in New York that assists when they come here. So she gave us that Kindle to give away, and we are hoping that the next name we choose needs a Kindle.
Yes.
And Kindles are good. You can download your books on them, all kind of thing. The internet is surf.
And reading is very good. So.
And the crew has been watching the Kindle, so I said let's get rid of this Kindle real quick because I know they don't watch your Kindle and say we shall win it. Shakera.
All right. So let's pick that name for this Kindle. All right. Let's see who we have.
Let's see
here.
who's the lucky person.
Miss Doreen Baltazar.
Doreen Baltazar.
And she's from Belize City again. So
Doreen Baltazar, congratulations.
Belize City resident.
Well, that's
so
it for
congratulations, Miss Doreen. And our two previous winners.
Yes.
You guys have some very nice gifts, so I'm sure you would appreciate it.
I'm sure they will. We will be taking a break at this time, and remember that those of you who won, you should have heard back from us by now, and we'll be making arrangements to have your gifts delivered to you. We have a rule: you have to get it this week because we don't have any storage, no storage here, so you have to pick it up this week. But with that said, we will take a break and we'll come back with more Soapbox. Belize Soap Box is sponsored by Milani Palace, Brothers Sabet, Medina's House of Jewelry.
We try to tell we ma no worry about you when we go play ball. But she said not even the court safe. We just want to try have fun and please stop the violence.
I mean, trust safe. It should be like this for everybody.
We love to play with our friends and we don't want anyone to hurt them.
We would have want to do this all the time without worry about shot the bus. Put the violence to rest instead of we.
We want to sleep in peace, not rest in peace.
That sounds great, Mr. Dutchman. Thanks. Getting our own Dutch boy.
Wow, Belize!
Sometimes it's hard being a new kid in town. But eventually, we all find our place. That place we call home, people we call family. What happens when he becomes the popular kid in town? Women love him. He's so helpful. Builders and contractors respect him. Even kids and animals can't get enough of the Dutch boy. What happens when everyone wants a piece of the Dutch boy? Dutch boy, demand the best.
Welcome back to Belize Soap Box. We are now going to get into conversation with our guest who has been here with us assisting with giveaways, but now we're going to get into some serious conversation, big conversation. I'm here with Shakera Young. Hi Shakera again.
Hi Sharon.
And I invited Shakera as my guest. In fact, I couldn't wait to get her on the show. She's one of the most intriguing person, I'd say, for 2016, 2017. And overall, some of you might remember Shakera from one of the most horrible times in recent history here in Belize. Last year, her only child, her son, was gunned down, and Shakera has had to find the strength to go on since then. A lot has been going on in your life since then, and miraculously you are here with us. As a mother, first of all, I must say that I admire your strength. And I really appreciate you taking time out to come here, because the whole purpose of sharing is to have a positive impact on Belize and on someone's life. So welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sha. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we have to go back to maybe one of the most difficult times in your life, and that is last year, November. Your son Tyler was shot and killed. Can you take us back to that day when you received that news? How did the day start out for you?
Well, Sharon, my day started out like a normal Friday for me. I'm a very routine person when it comes to my baby. And what we normally do is every Friday we would have tacos. So that morning, Tyler woke up, we got ourselves together. And as usual, I would always be the one behind him every day.
I know how that is with
So
kids.
he came outside and I said, "Child, where is your school bag?" And he's like, "Oh." And I said, "I have your bag, let's go." And so he was always in a rush, and he sat in the car the morning, and I looked at him, and I could remember looking at him, and I said, "Son, you brush your teeth good?" And he was like, "Yes, mommy." So he smiled, and I said, "Make us your teeth." And I saw a piece of corn skin between his teeth, and I looked at him and I said, "You know, brush your teeth." He said, "Yes, mama." I said, "No, you didn't." So being in a rush, I told him, "Just bring your teeth here." And I take a piece of wipes, and that was when I wiped the skin from between his teeth, and I said, "Learn to brush your teeth." But his mouth will smell fresh,
Yeah, but I just miss only thing. I mean, if you floss if anything.
Yeah, his mouth will smell fresh, and I said, "Let's come on." And so we gone the morning normal. We drove down, picked up a neighbor, and then we went to get the tacos. And on the way down that morning, he was relatively shy, because I always had this thing with him whereby me and him would have discussions on the way to school. And so the morning we went down and we went to go get tacos, and I could remember him coming out of the car and his laces was loose, and I looked at him and I scolded him and I said, "Child, try tie your lace."
Before you throw down.
Yes, and so he looked at me with this sad face, but then what I had to do was to hold back my emotions and stand firm and say, "You know what, I have to be this firm person, because I have to ensure that he's disciplined and he learns what he's supposed to do." So I turned my face away, no mind about it, tear up inside because of the sad face, but I just left him. And then we had the tacos, we bought the tacos, and we went into the car. But when we went into the car, he said, "Mommy, so you forget the Lee boy that we picked up the morning to bring down." And so I said, "Oh my," and I asked the little boy, I said, "What's your favorite food?" And he said, "Gacho." So I gave him money and I said, "Buy yourself a gacho and a juice." And that was when Tyler smiled and he said, "Awesome, Mommy."
Awesome.
Yes, and so we drive, and then I dropped him off to school. And my child was one of the type of kids, Sharon, my baby always in our rush. My baby never have all that stuff together. He always a scramble because he don't take advantage that mommy want to do everything for him. And so the morning we went to school, and I pulled up in front of the school, and he came out, looked for tumble down again with everything in his hand. And I said, "Baby, mine your tumble down." He said, "No, got it, mommy, got it." And I said, "Okay, sweetheart." And he came out of the car, and as fast as I knew it, my son disappeared into the crowd. And every morning there was religiously, he came out, or before he come out, we kiss, and I say, "I love you," and he would, "I love you too," and then he goes. And that morning he just went
In the blink of an eye, you just went.
And I stopped the vehicle and I looked through the rear view, and in my mind and in my heart I said, "Man, I want to see him later," you know. And I
That
would
we
never,
will, that I will see you later is a thing that everybody says.
Yes. And so that's a feeling that I never forget, Sharon. And every time up to now, when I pass that school, that feeling comes back to me. When I pass that same bump, that I thought to myself, I would see my baby back again to tell him I love him and have him say it back.
And that didn't happen.
Yes, and then move on to the evening. Now I was at work, and I'll be honest, Sharon. There's things there's a lot of things that people say they don't believe in, and there's a lot of stuff that people say that they don't
Superstition
think
or
exists.
the type of
But
thing.
that day I knew something was wrong, because from the afternoon I had a pain in my belly, and I said this is not normal, and so that afternoon, my brother offered to pick Tyler up, and his grandpa was supposed to pick him up, and I said, don't do it. I then asked my boyfriend to pick him up, and so I said, don't worry about it. I said, my boyfriend will pick him up, and they're like, okay. And it just comes to show you, Sharon, that even though I had two persons to offer, this wasn't something that I could have prevented. Yeah. And I'll get to the reason why I believe that this was something ordained, because I sat there and I had this feeling in my stomach, and I said, this is not normal. And so come 3 o'clock, I took it for granted that Tyler was already picked up from school and everything. So 3:30 now, I haven't heard anything. So I said, make I check for my baby. But the reason why I said that is because I had this cramp. And
It's terrible pain in your belly.
And I said, oh my, what is this?
You know, I've heard about that before. I'm pretty sure people who are watching right now could relate to it.
Because
that
I've
pain,
spoken,
your belly pain, they call it.
Yes, I've spoken to a few mothers who said they've experienced the same thing, that feeling from within, that they knew something was wrong with their child. And up to recently, I had a friend of mine who's in a group with us, Mr. Lalin. He said from the time his son got shot, he felt within him that nobody couldn't tell him that wasn't his son that got shot with those bullets. And so that day, I had the feeling, and I called and I messaged my boyfriend and I said, is Tyler okay? And he's like, he didn't answer. And I said, wow. And Sharon, could you believe, like a few minutes after that, my phone started to ring and ring and ring and ring. And so my friend called me and I answered, and he's like, where's Tyler? I said, Tyler is at Grand. And he's like, are you sure you need to check on Tyler? And I said, why? He said, just check on Tyler. And I said, okay. And so
by this time, how are you feeling? Are you scared?
I was still there questioning, like, you know what? I really didn't know how to take him seriously, but the feeling was there still. And so he called back again, and then I ignored the call, and then he called back again. I'm like, okay, no, something is really wrong. And so I answered the phone, and he's like, you need to check on Tyler. Where is Tyler? And I said, Tyler is at Grant. And I said, I called and nobody answered. He said, you need to go to the hospital. I said, why? He said, you just need to go to the hospital now. Wow. And I said, but why? He said, check on your son or go to the hospital, Shakera. I said, I'm not playing. And then that's when I said, you know what, let me call Gran back. And then when I did, somebody answered, and they said, Gran is not able to answer the phone because something happened with Tyler and Portion. And Sharon, I will not lie to you, I collapsed. The only thing I could remember I screamed out was no, and I collapsed right at my desk. And my boss immediately asked her to please take me to the hospital, and I went. And driving to the hospital, I was crying, but I was thinking a little graze, a little hand or foot. I was not thinking to find my son like that in that state. And so when I reached there, I met Miss Finnegan there, and when I went in, I saw doctors running all over the place. And so this for me was something. Now I was nervous, and while I'm talking about it, I'm still shaking because I was nervous, and I didn't know what to expect. And then in about 5 minutes, the doctor came out and she said, where is the family for the baby? And then he said, that's the mom. And so she took me aside in the room, and she looked at me and she said, Mom, I'm sorry, we tried everything, but... And I said no, and she didn't even finish, and I started to cry, and I said no, you're lying. And she said, I'm sorry, Mom. And then her tears started to run, and that's when I knew this was real. And I couldn't compose myself. I fell to the ground, and I'm sure that everybody heard me in the hospital crying. And the police officers that were there, they were gracious enough to leave me be for the while, and then I got up and I said, I want to see my son. And I'll say this because I want to be very, very very clear about it, and I want everybody to keep that image in their mind and try to visualize what I went through. I walked in this trauma room and I saw my son, my little boy, and Tyler was about maybe 49 pounds. So you imagine a little 7-year-old, and he's so small. And I saw him on this bed, and he had his mouth partially open, his eyes partially open, lifeless, Sharon. And I started to cry, and I shake my son. I shake and shake and shake, and I tell her, wake up. Because me and him had this relationship where all we do and play and joke with each other.
Yeah.
So I said, wake up, baby, and he wasn't waking up, Sharon. And that was when I realized that my son was gone. And I fell to my knees beside that bed, and I cried. And that's when I saw all the doctors clear out. You know, they gave me that time. And I didn't even stay down there long enough because I thought to myself, this cannot be real.
Was anybody in there with you?
No, nobody was in there with me. And this is Sharon, because since I lost Tyler's dad in 2014, that for me was something traumatic to deal with, because
Now that's another story in and of itself, because before Tyler died, his father was
his dad
gunned
was
down.
shot. And the thing about it is, it's all in proximity to home, because they were literally shot outside their house, innocently just standing there. And I must say, Sharon, that it's practically by the same group of people. And I believe that this is where the system keeps failing us, because if these people were dealt with accordingly,
when Leon was shot.
then I don't think they would have had a chance to even do this to my little boy. But we leave that discussion for another time. When I saw my son there, I walked out, Sharon, and nobody could get me to sleep. I got sedatives that night to sleep. I was not able to sleep.
Before you get to that part of leaving the hospital, and what did you inform anybody? Did you?
The first person I called was my mom. Tyler's grandpa was already outside because I spoke to him on the way to the hospital. But Sharon, coming out of the hospital, all I could think about was, how can I tell this man that his grandson, his only grandson now, who he was holding on to in memory of his son, is gone. And when I saw him, I couldn't hold back my tears. I couldn't hold back, and I just cried, and I said, he's gone. And he started to cry, and that was when it really hit me that it actually had happened. And I sat in the parking lot. I won't lie, Sharon, I sat in that parking lot on the floor from 5 o'clock, just about 5 o'clock until maybe about after 8 p.m. And I sat there in a trance, just trembling, crying. At one point, I wasn't even conscious of where or what I was doing. I just sat there in daze. And everybody came and everybody sat and cried with me, but that still didn't comfort me.
What were you thinking at that time?
This is unreal. Because
Can't believe it.
I just saw my little boy, and the thing that was haunting me was, what could my son ever do to these people? What could he ever do to them? And so I didn't even want to think of it like the rage that I had expected to feel, Sharon. I didn't. And the thing about it is because when this happened to Tyler, I had just started going to church about maybe 2 months, 3 months. My son had only gone to service 3 times with me. It was a struggle, but I definitely now look back at it, and I said that the Lord simply prepared me for that day, Sharon. He prepared me for that day because he knew what was going to happen, and he said, Shakera, you are going to need the strength. And I sat there, and Sharon, all I could do was cry.
Now, before we take a break, because we will have to take a break and come back with more of your story, but one of the things that you shared with me, because you've spoken several times before about the incident, and it's something that really disturbs me. There have been homicides across the country, accidents. One of the most disturbing things to me is when someone picks up their phone or their camera and takes a photograph of that victim and then goes on social media and just posts it. I know that happened with your son, and it's incredible to think that somebody did that, but it actually did happen, and it's happened before that, and I don't know if it will continue to happen, but the way it looks, people don't seem to use their judgment.
Mind you, Sharon, when this happened, up to now, the police has not gotten any statement from anybody, and this incident occurred about 4:30 in the evening. So the time that person took to take that picture, that person could have definitely take the time out as well to say, I saw what happened.
Yeah.
But what is happening now is that our society moves on social media and likes popularity, entertainment. And with what happened with my son, I'm telling you, I saw the picture, Sharon, of my little boy in his undershirt, in his school uniform pants, and his little Jordan tennis. And my son was laying, not face down, but his head was tilted on the street, and a pool of blood was running from him. And that was the picture they had circulating on social media. And the thing about it is, I saw it 2 days after, because a family member of mine had it. And I just want to let people know that these things, it traumatizes you, because I didn't need to see that. My family didn't need to see that. Actually, I didn't even need to know or see how it happened or whatever. I didn't.
It's already traumatizing enough that your son died in
so
such a
that
callous way.
person that did that, he posted it, and they sent me the name of the person, and I sent him a message, but he hasn't responded. But however, I contact, I think it was his spouse, and I said, your husband posted that picture of my son on the street lying there dead. Could you ask him to remove it? You know, and that was something, Sharon, it hurts. I'm telling you, it hurts, and I could definitely say that. And I saw it happening with that young man the other day that they killed hard rock. I saw that body, slain body on the street. I mean, to think that you would do something like that, you're not being considerate of the family.
You're definitely not. And if one thing we want for sure to communicate on the show is just that message to be sensitive and to be considerate of other people. But at this time, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and come back with more of Shakera's story, and then to talk about the turnaround that happened since Tyler's death. A lot of people have lost loved ones before, but I don't think a lot of them have quite handled it the way Shakera has. So we'll take a break and we'll come right back. Belize Soap Box is sponsored by Milani Palace, Brothers Sabet, Medina's House of Jewelry.
We try to tell we ma no worry about you when we go play ball. But she said not even the court safe. We just want to try have fun and please stop the violence.
I mean, it was safe. It should be like this for everybody.
We love to play with our friends and we don't want anyone to hurt them.
We would have want to do this all the time without worry about shot the bus. Put the violence to rest instead of we.
We want to sleep in peace, not rest in peace.
That sounds great, Mr. Dutchman. Thanks. Getting our own Dutch boy.
Wow, Belize! Wow!
Sometimes it's hard being a new kid in town. But eventually, we all find our place. That place we call home, people we call family. What happens when he becomes the popular kid in town? Women love him. He's so helpful. Builders and contractors respect him. Even kids and animals can't get enough of the Dutch boy. What happens when everyone wants a piece of the Dutch boy? Dutch boy, demand the best.
Our conversation continues with Shakera Young, mother of slain 7-year-old Tyler Savery. Listening to the account of what transpired with Shakera is very, very tough. but I think we have to allow ourselves to feel. A lot of us have taken this stance where if it doesn't directly affect us, we tend to mentally move away and not really think about it a lot. But I think that is part of the reason why we're in this situation that we're in, where multiple children have been killed before. Tyler is not the first child, sadly, who has been shot in these streets in Belize City. Before we went to break, you were talking about the callousness of people, taking a photograph of a child or several photographs, whatever the case may be, and then putting it out there. But now we want to go to something else. Tyler is your only child.
Yes, he was my first.
He was your only child, and to lose that must have been incredibly painful. Still is, I'm pretty sure. You spoke to me about how you got up on your feet again because you were literally taken to the ground to nothing. So what happened after the shooting, after dealing with the death, with the arrangements and everything?
Well, Sharon, honestly, this is the part that I enjoy sharing, because I mean, many will look at it and say, I don't know how she do it, but what I want to let everybody know is that literally, Sharon, it's the grace of God. Because before I lost my son, yes, I was a believer. Yes, I knew that there was a God. Yes, I said I wanted to change my life. Yes, I found all the different reasons to find excuses not to change my life. And what I found, I'll be honest, Sharon, for the past year, before I lost my son, because of him, I changed my entire life. Because I used to go to a club. I know what it was for going to Elite and come out 4 o'clock, right?
I think you used to go with my sisters,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
And so I know what that was. And I make no regrets about it, because having gone through those moments of my life has now molded me into who I am, where I could now sit down and say that it's not the way. Reason being, Sharon, is because a lot of women now, and we find it in young mothers, where they have these kids and then they leave the kids at home with their granny, they left them with their pa, they left them with everybody else other than spending time with their kids. My reason why I chose to stay home and chose to change my life was because of my son. And maybe you could relate, because when I used to go out, even if it's just happy hour after work, you best believe, Sharon, if it was 10, 11 o'clock, my son would be up waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
I dread seeing my baby like that. And even if I had one glass of wine, maybe 2, I loved margaritas. So I would have maybe a 3 margarita, and he would smell that on me. And Sharon, could you believe, at 6 years old, he would say, Mommy, please go brush your teeth because you smell a rum. And that hurt me when he would turn his back from me and not want to smell like alcohol off.
Tyler was a little man.
Yes, he was, and that's why I say, Sharon, God made no mistake sending me my son, and he made no mistakes in changing my heart towards the way I used to live. And so I changed. I didn't party anymore like before. I didn't drink like before.
Was this a dramatic change, or was it something that
this was something that just
gradually happened?
After I saw how my son reacted to my actions, I then knew that it was time to change, because my child did not ask to be here. So I knew I had to change, and that was when everything started to just change for me, where I started to seek the face of God. I started to want different in life. So up from then till now, I've lost so much in regards to friends and company. But Sharon, I make no regrets about losing people, and I don't even look at it as losing people now. I look at it as God removing them, because where He's taking me, they're not able to go. That is how I look at it.
To me, it has to be that, because I've known you for quite a while, and it's the way you speak about the experience of having to pick yourself back up after this news, and I really want you to share that story with our listeners, because that's incredible to know that God is in your life. I mean, people tend to you wait until things really go to a head for you to be able to say, you know what, let me stop and let me consult with God. You know, for me it was when my mom died. I had to do that consultation for you when your son died. I understand you were bedridden.
Yes, I the first time, Sharon, that was the Friday this took place. The Saturday, Friday, Saturday, I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't sleep, I didn't do anything. I just cried, and that was what I did for days, cry, until this Sunday I was not able to come out of bed, and I was staying with my cousin, and you know, she's like a sister to me. So the morning I was in bed and I tried to come up. And as I tried to come up, I realized everything around me was blurred. And that's when I fell back. I could not get up.
Literally didn't have the strength to get out of bed.
I could not get up.
You said they brought the doctor to see you?
So they called in a doctor to come and see me because I refused to go to the hospital. I refused to come out of bed because I felt my end was near, Sharon. Like if God could have strike me down dead, I tell God do it. And to say this, that I couldn't even pray, Sharon, because I didn't know how. I didn't know what to say to him. And so that Sunday when the doctor came, he advised my family. He said, I'll be honest, if you guys don't get her to eat or drink something, or you will lose her. She will go into a shock and you will lose her. And honestly, at that point, that was the happiest news for me, because I was
wanted to die.
Yes, I wanted to die. And I said, oh Lord, thank you. I could now starve myself more and just die. And Sharon, something told me no. And I had a couple chips and I went to the restroom and I said, you know what? No, this has to stop. And I went and I'll be honest, I kneeled down and I prayed in that bathroom and I said, Lord, and I could remember my words to him. I said, Lord, that was your will. You could have stopped that bullet, but you chose not to. So now I am coming to you and asking you to help carry me, because you brought me here. So I'm asking you to take control and carry me, because I'm not able to do it. And Sharon, I won't lie, I don't know if you ever back a school bag full of rock or so heavy.
No, not really. I shake my head, yes, but I feel like my books were rocks at some point.
You imagine somebody taking that off of your back and just pull it off. And that's what I felt as I prayed to him and I said, take the burden, take the load and carry me. And Sharon, he carried me, because I got up off that ground and I cried a bit. And when I get up, from then till now, I haven't felt that way back again. What I did that day was I spoke to the police that day, and then after that I requested that they send the media to me, because I wanted the country to hear what I had to say. Because Sharon, I think that everything spiraled out of control, and we know we're becoming a society of accepting nonsense. We're accepting nonsense. And in my interview, I told them that we have a lot of mothers out there who knows what their children are doing, but yet they encourage it. But my appeal to them was, what if it was your son, as bad as your son is? Imagine you know your son did this or did something like this, and someone comes back in return and does it to him, regardless of what your child does. That is your child. You will feel that pain. So now my drive now, Sharon, is not to condemn anybody, because I've forgiven them. Whether or not they want to believe it or not, I've forgiven them. And the reason why I did that was to set myself free. I want to be free. I want to walk on that street knowing that I don't know who did that to my son. I have an idea of the group of people, but that is for God to judge them. That is not for me.
But what you have done with it is, and we need to get to that because we really are running out of time.
What I did...
You did it with the foundation.
Yes. What I did, Sharon, was I wanted first to implement new laws against harming children, but I realized that was a lengthy process. And so what I wanted to do when I said was, my son's name will live on forever. And as long as I live, Sharon, and even after I die, I'm sure my son's name will live on, because nobody will forget my son. And I go back to it saying that the same way that Christ was crucified and his blood stained the earth for us so many years ago, my son's blood came and stained this city, not for just nothing. Because I'm telling you, what I've decided to do with this foundation is to just let the Spirit of God lead me with it, Sharon, because we've already lost a generation. Now, if I am to sit back and allow this to happen to somebody else's child, then am I really helping the issue? No. I'm not a part of the solution. If I do that, I'm a part of the problem. So I decided to be a solution. And so I went ahead and I have support from a few people, and we got the foundation registered under Tyler Savery Foundation. Initially, the main purpose was to assist with funeral expenses, because Sharon, it wasn't easy for me going through that expense alone, but thank God that Tyler's dad left money for him, and that was what I used to have my son's funeral. And that was initially what I had in mind, because I knew the pinch that I had.
Yeah.
And thereafter I said, no, we are supposed to do something different with our kids. And so now that is what I want to do. And from since then until now, I've done a few little outreach projects with the kids.
That's what the foundation
yes.
is there for.
Yes, but I the thing about it, Sharon, I would want to do more, but I'm not able to do due to sponsorship and funds. So what I'm trying to do now is to get everything organized for it, open up my bank account, and then I want to do an official launch of it to see if we could get people to support. Because I mean, asking for a donation is one thing, but and giving it is one thing, but actually seeing where it is going, it's another thing. And I'm ensuring that when I spend money with these kids, or I spend time with these kids, it's not just the money, it's not just the app, it's because it's something passionate for me. I now want to see somebody else's child in a better position, so they don't become that person that pull the trigger and shoot my child.
And it's so unfortunate that we're running out of time. Like, I don't know about the time gone, but listening to your amazing story, and it's not a story, I hate using that word, but it's your life. It's what you've been experiencing, what you've been going through. As a parent, my heart goes out to you. As a mother, my heart goes out to you, because that's a mother's worst, the worst thing you could ever imagine to happen to you. But back to the foundation, I know that you're getting a lot done with it. How can people be a part of it? How can they support the foundation?
All right, well, if anybody would want to maybe know more about it or contribute towards it, they could contact me at 633-0820. They could email me at Shakera, Shakera, .young@yahoo.com. They could also contact me on Facebook at Shakera Young on Facebook. Feel free to inbox me and let me know. But it's just to put out there, guys, it doesn't matter how small it is of a token you want to contribute. I mean, if you go out and buy a backpack for your child, you know, you could buy an extra pack of pencil to donate towards the cause, because these things we're hoping to reach at least 200 to 300 kids for this drive, right? So we plan on having it with north side, south side kids, and I also plan to take it in the villages. So we're gonna have areas in Hattieville, Ladyville, and Biscayne, have little, you know, we're not able to reach everybody, Sharon, but what I'm doing,
I love it, because the other districts, like say, left out and everything happens in the city, so I think that's great.
But what you find, Sharon, is a lot of these kids in the villages and the rural, they're very, very smart, and they tend to be kind of, you know, forgotten or on the back burner. So here we want to do something a bit different. So it's the same concept. We will invite them out, have a little outing with them, and then distribute the backpacks for them. So that is what we have planned right now. You guys could feel free to contact me at any time if you want to be a part of it. And Sharon, you could surely come out with your crew that day.
Definitely.
Make memories, you know, and that's why I'm inviting also the parents to come out with the kids, to make memories with the kids, because I'm a living testimony that you don't take time for granted, and don't put off things for tomorrow that you could do today or the next hour, because I believe you could get up right now, Sharon, and brutally honest, you could drop right down dead, and you could have planned something maybe an hour after. And so I want to encourage everybody, you have children, appreciate your kids. You have husbands, appreciate your husbands. You have wives, you appreciate your family, appreciate everybody in a whole, because there will come a time, Sharon, when you are looking at them dead and wish that you would have been able to tell them what you really want to tell them.
Truly sad. Truly sad. And I appreciate your advice. This is coming from someone who has experienced it themselves. And Shakera, we really appreciate your time. And like we said, we're going to invite you back to push the backpack drive. And I definitely have some things for you. I tell you already, right? Because I got some, I was a part of a drive last year where Miss Betty Hamilton had given us some supplies as well. So we're going to be passing that on to you. And I know you're going to make good use of it. Well, that's it. We are really out of time. So we have to wrap the show up. We want to thank those of you who've taken this time out to spend with us. See you again next week. Same time, same place. And we look forward to having another amazing guest here to share with you.